Yeah, welcome guys. So in this lesson, we are going to see an understanding of NFTs. So this is a kind of overview of NFTs, everything you need to know about NFTs. Okay, so here we go. So first, we are going to see what are NFTs. So in this slide, I'm going to help you understand the concept of NFT. It took me a lot of time before I could be able to grasp and understand what NFTs are, despite being someone that has been in this space for quite a long time. Okay, so it took me time to understand what NFTs are. So in order for me to understand what NFTs are, I have to understand, break it down in, I have to break the terms down, and furthermore, I have to reverse and learn the opposite of it. So since NFTs are non-fungible assets, so I have to learn about fungible assets and what they are. So if a fungible asset is an asset that has actual market value on its own and can be divisible, traded or exchanged with one another. So example, a fungible asset is a gold. It has a market value and can be divided to get same value. Okay, so fungibility is the ability of a good or asset to be interchanged with another individual good or asset of the same type. So what this means is that a fungible asset have to have a value of its own, that's a general market value. For example, gold, like we use gold for example here, a bar of gold has a general market value, that this is what you sell a bar of gold. Let's say a bar of gold is 10 million. All right. So if you bring half bar of gold, all right, is 5 million. And if you bring another half bar of gold, is another 5 million. So if you plus them together, is now 10 million. Okay, that means half bar of gold plus half bar of gold is 1 bar of gold. Okay, that means this gold is fungible. All right, it can be traded or exchanged. So you can give me 1 bar of gold, and I give you 2 half bars of gold. They still are the same value. All right, so these are fungibility of an asset. So just like land, these are okay. Land is not a fungible asset. Let's say money, like money, money is a fungible asset. Other properties, like, are fungible assets. They have value of their own. So when you divide them, that you can divide them into how many pieces you want and still get the same value when you add them up. Another example is crypto, like Bitcoin. So if 1 Bitcoin is $50,000, so if you divide it by 2, you have 0.5, right? So if you plus 0.5 together, you still get $50,000, which is 1 Bitcoin. Okay, if you plus 0.5 together, you still get 1, which is $50,000. All right, so that means that Bitcoin is fungible, is a fungible asset. Gold is a fungible asset. All right, so any of assets that cannot be divided this way are not fungible assets. So let's look at non-fungible assets here. So what is a non-fungible asset? A non-fungible asset is an asset that cannot be exchanged or traded with another asset of its class and value. It doesn't have a general market value, but it's rather priced and valued on the estimated, estimate of the creator, owner, or the buyer. Okay, so it can be rather priced or valued at the estimate of the creator, owner, or the buyer. So just like in gold, you cannot start and pricing gold. Okay, so if 1 bar of gold is 50,000, you can't make your own bargain, because this is the general market value of the gold we know. Okay, so just like gold, you can't price underprice gold because it has a general market value. Okay, it has a market price of its own. So when you bring out 1 bar of gold, everybody already knows how much 1 bar of gold is worth. All right, so but a non-fungible asset, let's look for example an artwork. Okay, so if I paint an artwork Alright, I'm the creator of the artwork, so I can say that I want to sell this artwork at so price. Okay, so but that amount I want to sell that artwork is not the general worth of that artwork. It's just me, the creator, putting my own worth. Okay, apart from that too, I can create an artwork and place it on auction. A buyer will come and say, okay, I want to buy this artwork at so amount. Okay, you understand now that it doesn't have a specific market value of its own. It's just priced as at whatever the buyer or the creator wants to price it at. Okay, so this is non-fungible asset. So an artwork is a non-fungible asset, and furthermore, it cannot be divisible. It cannot be divided to get the same value. So if I paint an artwork and I tore it together, I tore it apart, it has lost its value. So it cannot be, it can't come together again to make up something meaningful at the same worth and value. But unlike an artwork, okay, so if I break a bar of gold into two, I can still, okay, this is half bar of gold, this is a half bar of gold. Together they make one bar of gold, and they still maintain the same market value. Okay, so gold is a perfect example of a fungible asset, and an artwork is a perfect example of a non-fungible asset. Just like in music, okay, I can record a music and say, okay, this my song is very lovely, very relaxing, and I want to sell it at 50 million. Okay, so a record label can say, no, we will buy it at 10 million. All right, and if I want, I can sell to them, because it doesn't have a specific market value. It's non-fungible, and it cannot be traded or exchanged with the same assets of the same type. So if I destroy it or tear it apart, it has lost its value. Okay, so that means it's non-fungible. Okay, but if it's fungible, it should be something like paper money, gold, crypto, and all of that. Okay, so now you understand that non-fungible assets doesn't have a general market value of their own, and they cannot be traded or exchanged. While fungible assets has a general market value and can be traded or exchanged, they can be divisible and again bring together to make the same market value. All right. So it is very important that you understand this aspect of NFT. Okay, if you understand the concept around NFT, that helps you to get a clear picture of where we are going to. All right. So now we have talked about fungible assets and non-fungible assets. So now we are talking about non-fungible token. So guys, having seen what a fungible token or a fungible asset is and a non-fungible asset is, so it's now time we go in for the main business, that is non-fungible tokens, that's NFTs. So non-fungible tokens, that is the act of tokenizing a non-fungible asset. So whenever you tokenize a non-fungible asset using the blockchain system, you have converted that asset into a token, and it becomes a non-fungible token. So if your artwork, let's say you are a visual artist, then you paint an artwork, is a non-fungible asset. So you now tokenize it with the blockchain, it becomes a non-fungible token. All right. So that is just it. So when you understand what a fungible asset is and what a non-fungible asset is, then the act of tokenizing a non-fungible asset using the blockchain is known as non-fungible token. All right. So things to understand and get clearer here that NFTs are not cryptocurrencies. Okay, they are digital assets that are tokenized and operate in the blockchain. Like I said, when you turn a non-fungible asset into a tokenized asset, it becomes NFT. Okay, so cryptocurrencies are not are tokenized, but they are not non-fungibles. So they are fungible assets. cryptocurrencies that falls under tokens are also fungible tokens. Alright, so NFTs are not cryptocurrencies, they are just artworks or digital arts, physical arts, or anything. So the art of tokenizing them using the blockchain is known as NFTs, that's non-fungible tokens. So I hope by now you must have understood what NFTs are. Okay, so NFTs are digital representation of real life objects. So, and like I said, an artwork, you can paint your artwork, is there for you as an artwork, you hang it in your room. But once you have tokenized it, you have created a digital representation of it. Okay, so you have the artwork, one thing, and you also have the digital representation of the artwork, okay, which is the token you have. So anything can be tokenized, anything can be tokenized into an NFT, whether digital or physical. So the owner of Twitter, the founder of Twitter, made a screenshot took a screenshot of his first ever tweet on Twitter and sold it, okay, as an NFT. Okay, so that is a digital stuff, right? It's a digital piece, right? So he sold it. So some people also sell visual artists that paint pictures, and when they sell the painting to you, they also sell the token to you also. So meaning that you are now holding the original aspect of that artwork. So even if you sell that artwork without selling that token, you are still holding the original aspect of that artwork. Okay, so anything can be tokenized. All right, so we go again. Fungible assets are assets that have real market value and can be exchanged with one another. All right, and also can be divisible. Why non-fungible assets are the opposite of fungible assets? They cannot be they don't have the actual market value of their own. The value placed on them are made by either the owner or the buyer. Okay, so the owner or the buyer determines how much the assets will be worth. Okay, how much the asset is worth or will be sold for. All right, so now non-fungible tokens, NFTs, are assets that have been tokenized with the blockchain. Okay, so they are non-fungible assets that have been tokenized. Okay, you have a digital representation of it. Okay, so any asset, anything out there can be tokenized, right? As far as it's a non-fungible asset, it can be tokenized. So what you need to do to tokenize it is just to get it in the blockchain and mint it in the NFT market. So we are going to look into those things later in this course. All right.